The house's hunger. The old house groaned under the weight of the storm, each gust of wind rattling the windows like skeletal fingers tapping on glass. Inside, Ilara huddled deeper under her threadbare blanket, the chill seeping into her bones, despite the fire crackling in the hearth. She'd inherited the house from her grandmother, a woman she barely knew, and now, trapped by the blizzard, Ilara was beginning to regret her impulsive decision to spend the winter here. It wasn't just the isolation. It was the feeling of being watched, a prickling sensation on the back of her neck, the unsettling creak of floorboards when no one moved, the way shadows danced in the periphery of her vision, morphing into grotesque shapes when she dared to glance at them directly. Tonight, the feeling was stronger than ever. The wind howled like a banshee, and the old house seemed to hold its breath between gusts, as if listening. Ilara tried to distract herself with a book, but the words blurred on the page, her mind consumed by a growing unease. Suddenly, a soft scratching sound drifted down from the attic. Ilara froze, her heart hammering against her ribs. She held her breath, straining to hear over the storm. The scratching continued, rhythmic and insistent, like tiny claws scraping against wood. Fear tightened its icy grip around her throat. She told herself it was just rats, or the wind, or her imagination running wild. But deep down, she knew it was something else, something cold and ancient that had been waiting in the darkness of the attic for a long, long time. She grabbed the poker from beside the hearth, its cold iron a small comfort in her trembling hand. Taking a deep breath, she forced herself to move towards the staircase, each step creaking in protest under her weight. The attic door was slightly ajar, a sliver of darkness beckoning her in. The scratching grew louder, closer. Ilara pushed the door open, holding the poker out in front of her like a shield. The attic was pitch black, the only light filtering in from the hallway, casting long, distorted shadows. The scratching was coming from the far corner of the room. Ilara moved slowly, her eyes straining to pierce the darkness. As she got closer, she saw it. A small wooden box sitting on a dusty table. The scratching was coming from inside. Ilara hesitated, her hand hovering over the lid. What was inside? She knew she should turn back, flee the house and never return. But a morbid curiosity, a chilling fascination, held her rooted to the spot. With trembling fingers, she lifted the lid. Inside the box, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, was a single human tooth. Large, yellowed, and grotesquely sharp. As Ilara stared at the tooth, a cold breath brushed against her ear, whispering her name. She whirled around, but there was nothing there. Then the scratching started again, this time from behind her. And it wasn't coming from the box. It was coming from the shadows themselves, closer now, much closer. Ilara could hear the soft padding of feet, the rustle of something unseen moving in the darkness. And then she saw the eyes, two glowing green points of light, burning like embers in the blackness, staring directly at her. Ilara screamed, a sound swallowed by the storm. The shadows lunged, the house groaned, the wind howled, and the scratching continued, unabated. The old house had found a new resident.